Hi, guys. Welcome to Storytime Society. I am so happy to have you here. I feel like I need to start saying that because I'm always saying that to everyone in my comments. And I feel like that's just like, I am happy to have you here. So I need to start telling you guys more. Like, I'm happy to have you here. Thank you so much for coming and joining Storytime Society. I have been saving stories up the booty. So hopefully we can pick some good ones today. And I'm going to try to pick the ones that I haven't read yet, just like I only read the titles of. And hopefully they are good because I've saw one and like I clicked on it and then I saw it had so many updates and I know that you guys liked the like long update story, so I was like, that might be good. And I think that I can't even remember what the story was, but I remember the title being interesting. Um, get your drinks. I have a iced latte. What flavor did I put in this today? I forget. I think toasted marshmallow I put in this. And cheers to whatever you're drinking. I'm not really a big Stanley girl, but I got this for Christmas like 2 years ago, I think, and obviously I'm going to use it because it's nice, but I've never like bought one myself. I have like a Hydro Flask water bottle because I feel like, I don't know, I just like the Hydro Flasks because I'm just different, you know. Just kidding. But I just like it because I've known of Hydro Flask for so long, and I used to want one so bad, but they were like so expensive, so I never got one until I was an adult. And I really like it. And yeah, I just never really there's a lot of cute Stanleys though, but I try to like lower my spending on trendy stuff just because I'm like sometimes I have stuff that I bought and I'm like, why did I bought the because like it was so trendy at the time, but then it's like I don't like it anymore. And it's so weird how my mind works like that, or like even just most people's minds work like that. Like, oh, you have something trendy and you really love it. Like stuff that I loved at the time because it was trendy, but that's not why I thought I loved it. I was just like, I love it so much. And then like after it goes out of style, like my brain just doesn't like it anymore. And I'm like that with some stuff, but a lot of stuff, like my personal like fashion style, I'm not like that with because I love fashion and I'm more of a person who like I want to wear stuff that's like outside of the box and not trendy. So, but certain things I'm like that with, and I don't even know like an example of what I can kind of shoes sometimes, but at the same time, I'm like flip floppy. Like I like to get shoes that are different, that aren't trendy, but then I also like tennis shoes usually. I like to get the ones that are trendy just because I never know what to get. So like when the Air Forces were super popular, I got the Air Forces, and then the Adidas Sambas, I have those, which I'm sure I'm gonna hate in like 6 months time. But anyways, that's besides the point. There's no point in ranting about fashion right now, but it's just funny how trends work and it's just like such a subconscious thing. But I hope you guys are doing really well. Happy Tuesday, and I hope you guys had a great weekend. Let me know what you did in the comments below. I want to know what you guys were up to this weekend. I went to the water park with my boyfriend and his family, and it was really fun. And yeah, I think that's it. Besides, like, subscribe, like, comment, share with a friend, maybe a family member, and let's get into story time. I actually am not really sure what story I'm gonna do yet. I have so many on here, and I'm like, which one? There was one that I was like really interested in earlier that I can't remember. I think it's this one because this one looks like it has a lot of updates. Okay, we're gonna start with this one and hope that it's good. But the title is, wait, actually, I really want to look at the regular post because I don't like how this says like OOP's X. I like it when it's the actual post of the person. Like I want to see. All right. Okay, this was 9 months ago. Okay, but there are a lot of updates. 9 months ago, the title is, my ex-girlfriend wants to place our baby for adoption and I'm not sure that I can. I'm 23. My ex-girlfriend is 20. We met in college. I've since graduated, but she has 2 years left. She's 21 weeks pregnant and wants to put the baby up for adoption. She was around 14 weeks pregnant when she told me that she was pregnant. We had already broken up 2 months before that, and I honestly had no idea she was pregnant. She said she needed space to make her own decision, and that's why she didn't tell me. From the moment she told me she was pregnant, I told her I would support whatever decision she made. I respect that it's her decision. I believe in a woman's right to choose and all of that. I feel guilty that I got her pregnant. I'm internally panicking at the idea of a baby, and the idea of being a father is wild and unreal to me right now. But when she told me that she was planning to put the baby up for adoption, it felt like a gut punch. She's already connected with an adoption agency and looking at possible adoptive families. In no way do I think she should be forced to be a parent. I would never want to contribute to that. I completely understand her reasoning. It's just making me feel sick. She seems as content as she can be with the decision. She knows that this is the right decision for her. I don't know if I can consent to it. I've started researching contested adoptions. I think it's sort of crazy, and I'd have to be willing and prepared to completely support and parent the baby on my own and be able to prove it. I feel guilty thinking about coming in and ruining all of her plans. Maybe it wouldn't be fair for anyone for me to do that, but I'm becoming more uncomfortable with the idea of adoption every day. I've not told her how I feel because I know it took her a while to come to her decision, and even though she feels that it's the right one, it's also a highly emotional thing for her. I spend a lot of time trying to rationalize why adoption is the best thing for everyone. Okay, the top comment says, why don't you ask her for sole custody? Ask if she would be willing to waiver all parental rights, and you wouldn't have to ask for and won't ask for child support. And you won't ask for child support. That way you can both go your separate ways. And then he commented back, once I make any sort of suggestion like that out loud, I have to be 100% committed. It's my understanding that the court system is extremely reluctant to terminate a parent's right and financial obligations, even if both parents agree to that arrangement. It's not as simple as just signing away her rights. There's a difference between the court terminating rights and her willingly signing them away. Edited to add, look up a spot that provides pro bono advice for what you would need to do. We'll help with deciding, and then we'll show you've done the work and aren't taking this lightly. And he said, I'm considering meeting with a lawyer. A lawyer will definitely give you a better idea of, one, what you will need to do, get in custody, and also if you're not interested in putting the baby up for adoption. And two, what you should think about before you decide. You need to decide before she starts the adoption process and drags the family into this. Have you thought about raising the baby yourself or getting involved with the adoption process? And he commented back saying, trying to decide if the idea of raising a baby by myself is too crazy or not. Would you have a support system? Do you live near family or friends who would be willing to help out when you need it or would want to be involved in your baby's life? He said, I live about 45 minutes away from my family and most of my siblings. I'm the second youngest sibling out of 4. Talk to your parents about it. They live close enough. They may be able to help you. I'm interested because, okay, so this was 9 months ago. So that means we're about to get some updates that are like new and we're going to know what happens. And that's like the best thing ever because I feel like every single time we're reading stories, for the most part, we never get the full, like it's always just posted 2 days ago. So we never get like the full what happened at the end, you know? So this one's like start to finish. We're about to really find out like what's happening. Okay, so this is the update that we're about to read. I don't know if I like my arm like that. Like it's like kind of hurting, but at the same time, like I hate the way my arms look all the time. That I'm always like, if you always see me moving my arms, it's because I'm like, why does my arm look like that? You know? Okay. So this is the update, and it also was posted 9 months ago. Posting this as an update because my original post received so many comments that it's hard to really follow everything there anymore. I was really surprised by how many people responded, and honestly, the advice was all over the place, and admittedly, some of it got me pretty worked up. I think it really helped hearing some unbiased thoughts of my situation, though. There's no huge update, really. I've decided that just sitting here passively and not saying anything won't get me anywhere. My ex and I are in regular communication. We don't talk every day, but we text every few days. She told me she can't find any adoptive parents that feel right yet. She really wants me to start looking at the stuff the adoption agency has sent. She asked if I had looked, and I told her I skimmed some stuff, but it doesn't really make me feel good. That was my opening to tell her I'm not really sure how I feel about adoption, and I'm having second thoughts regarding my own desire to parent my child or not. She asked me what I really was trying to say, and I tried to communicate that I'm not saying she should keep the baby and be a parent right now. I understand why this is the best decision for her, but I'm not sure if it's the best decision for me. She said, "What? You're going to be a single dad? Ha 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 ha." I told her maybe it's not that crazy. She said it is crazy and don't do this to me. She basically feels that if I do that, and even if I don't hold it against her, she's still legally the mom, and suddenly she'll be this horrible deadbeat parent who isn't involved with her child at all. By placing the baby with another family, she breaks the legal ties, and she doesn't have to feel like she's quite as shitty of a person. Even my own mom is unsure of how to feel about what I'm considering, but she would support me. She understands my feelings about not wanting my child to be raised by other people, but worries I'm biting off more than I can chew. She still supports me 100%. She thinks it's crazy, but she also thinks I can do it if it's what I want. I admittedly cried like a baby about it to my mom, and in true mom fashion, she thinks I need to follow my heart. I feel like, okay, this is like such a hard decision, so like really nothing I can't really say like you should keep the baby because I'm not in that position, and I can't even imagine what it's like to be in that position. But I do feel like if you're feeling this way, like if you're truly feeling like so not good about that and you're not going to like be at peace with that, then there needs to be something like maybe you can, cuz can't you, I don't know, so correct me if I'm wrong, but can't you kind of make like a deal or something when you're adopting your baby or putting your baby up for adoption where you have like visitation rights or something? Is that a thing? I don't know. Maybe not, but I feel like I've heard that's a thing, like where you can still have contact with the baby and stuff. And maybe that would be the right decision because at least like you don't have to have like full I don't know. That sounds like even worse almost because it's like you might be it's obviously your baby and then it's all that like you have to be like, okay, bye, like see you later, but I don't get to like raise you myself. I don't know, that could get really confusing and hard. But it sounds like something needs to happen that's not like fully just giving your baby up if you really aren't feeling that good about it, because she seems like she would be at peace with that, and that's amazing for her. Like I am all for what you want to do, whether that be getting an abortion, which obviously there's like a time where you can't get an abortion. So now the option is, well, I'm assuming she didn't want to get an abortion, but whether that be getting an abortion, whether that be putting up your baby for adoption, like it is your choice, it is your life. And I just think it's so much better to make a responsible choice rather than to raise a child in an environment that is not equipped for a child. And obviously it's very brave to make the decision to be like selfless and give up your baby for adoption, because obviously it's really hard. But if you know that you can't be a parent and you can't give your child what a child really needs to be raised in a healthy environment, then the best decision obviously would be to put them up for adoption if you like wanted to go through with having the baby but just didn't want to be the parent at the end of the day. If that's, I don't know if that's even making sense the way that I'm wording that, but you get what I mean. Like it's very brave, and I'd much rather see a baby in a healthy adoptive home than with the birth mom in a unhealthy environment with her real birth parents. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's best for everyone. And yeah. The top comment to this update says, picture what you want for your future 5 years from now. What does it look like? And he said, I didn't originally picture having a 5-year-old kid 5 years from now, but I have started to sort of be able to picture it. I always thought I'd like to be married and have kids in my early 30s. I've never really liked the idea of waiting until 40 plus to start a family. Definitely thought there would be a little more time before that happened, but it doesn't feel like the end of the world to me. And then the comments back say, talk to other full-time single dads. If that's what you decide you want, talk to a lawyer and draw up papers for her to sign her rights away, etc. She's off the hook and you'll do it solo. I've just this moment realized I've never actually met a single dad who didn't have some level of shared custody or a new partner that helped. I don't know about OP's circle of friends and family, but I just came to a shocking realization about my own. My dad single-handedly raised my half-siblings. His wife, my amazing stepmom, passed away when my little brother and sister were 12 and 3, and he did an amazing job. These amazing men are out there. My boyfriend is a dad with sole custody. His son's mom has visitation. She's just like a very irresponsible alcoholic, and he does hope she steps up to this. What? He does hope she steps up. Their son is about to turn 8. Her mom and sometimes dad will take him for about 10 hours a week, though. It is definitely not a normal situation because usually women are primary parent, married or unmarried or single or whatever. Yeah, it's honestly crazy to think about how it's so common for a single mom to be a single mom, but it's so not common to see a single dad being a single dad. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, I've definitely known, I'm thinking of one friend in particular that I was friends with in elementary school, and her mom, I'm pretty sure she was in jail for a while, so she didn't get to see her mom for like a long time. And her dad just was a really, really bad alcoholic. He was like a single dad, I guess you could say, but they were basically free range. Like, they did whatever. And at like in elementary school, they would be left home alone, like almost 24/7, and it definitely wasn't a healthy environment. Not saying that single dads are like, you can't be like a single dad, but I'm just saying that is what I can think of. And then also, actually, one of my best friends, she actually, I think she only met her mom a couple times, and her dad raised her and her brother, but he was remarried. So I guess technically, like, she had her stepmom to help her dad raise her. So he wasn't like fully like a single dad, right? I'm pretty sure. Like, I mean, he technically wasn't single, so. But obviously he definitely did more of the raising than, not obviously, but like the stepmom. I don't think the stepmom was too involved. Like, they never got on that relationship where she would be like, they didn't really like each other that much. Let's just say that. So the stepmom definitely wasn't as involved as like if my mom weren't involved I have a stepmom, and then my dad, if they like had to get custody of me, I would definitely, like, I feel very comfortable with my stepmom, so I would definitely like, I think she would honestly be more, not saying my dad's not a good parent, because my dad's like a great dad, but she's very like organizational. She's in charge of everything. So like, that would be, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean? Like, he would not be a single dad because my stepmom would help him so much, because she helps him so much anyways. Like, she's literally in charge of everything. And if you have anything to ask, like, even if it's like, what did dad have for breakfast this morning? It's like, ask your stepmom. Because my dad literally he's just surviving. Okay, update to This is also 9 months ago. Okay, so he's giving lots of updates. Third update on my situation. Not sure if this many updates are allowed here, but I'll take the risk. I'm not going to recap it all here. You can check my previous posts on my profile if you want. I've decided to pursue custody of my child and will not be consenting to an adoption. My ex-girlfriend may or may not still try to pursue adoption. There's no way to know right now because she hasn't talked to me since I told her I was uncomfortable with adoption and exploring my own options. I have a consultation with a lawyer next week. In the meantime, I contacted the appropriate local county health departments. I can add myself to the pituitive father registry in the current state she's in. I've already downloaded the form and will get it notarized and sent off on Monday. This will do nothing to establish paternity, but will hopefully mean that I should be notified should she try to place our baby for adoption without informing me herself. The other state, the state that she's from and where her family lives, doesn't have a pituitive father registry. I'll still need to establish paternity as soon as the baby is born. That is, if she even informs me when she gives birth. I'd really like to be there or be able to get there as soon as possible, but I really have no clue what she's thinking or planning at this point. I have a pretty clear understanding of my options for establishing paternity, and I'm hoping that by then she will be willing to sign an affidavit establishing me as the father. Otherwise, I'll need to go through the courts. In an ideal world, she'd agree to a prenatal paternity test. I do believe I'm the father, but it would be nice to have that definitive assurance before I completely turn my life upside down for this. Since she's not even talking to me currently, I can't ask her for that right now. Maybe once she has a chance to process things, we'll be able to talk about this more and she will cooperate. If not, I can't force her to do anything and may have to wait for the test. She's really stubborn, so I can see her digging her heels in. I'm leaving her alone right now, but I will communicate my decision to her after I speak with the lawyer. All of the comments on my previous posts really helped. The constructive criticism was needed. It gave me some important things to think about and questions to answer for myself. It did make me doubt myself, but ultimately the negative comments telling me not to do this or that I can't do it only served to motivate me further. She's around 23 weeks now. It feels like her due date is still a long ways away, but now that she's at the point of seriously looking at and interviewing potential adoptive families, I felt like I couldn't wait much longer to make a decision and move forward with it. Plus, it's going to take me at least that long to figure out some of the logistics. I previously had no clue how expensive daycare is, or that waitlists are often months or sometimes even more than a year long. I need to save money, start budgeting, maybe even consider moving slightly closer to family. I haven't figured out anything beyond just making the decision, but that was probably one of the hardest parts. Yeah, honestly, that'd be a good idea since he's only 45 minutes away from his family. I feel like moving closer to his family would be probably the best option as long as they are willing and able to help him out when he needs it. Like, even if they can't babysit as much as he would need, it would still help so much to have. That's like the thing that's gonna suck is I don't live close to my family, so that's like gonna be so hard because I have like a big family. So if I did have a baby and I lived near my family, but honestly now like my family is all kind of scattered out, but if it were like how it was, because my mom just recently moved out of my hometown, but if it were like it was, I would have so many people to watch my kids. My dad, my stepmom, my grandma, my mom, my sister, my brother, which I'm not sure if my brother would want to watch my kid, honestly. He doesn't want kids himself, so I think he likes kids, but I don't know if he would babysit a kid, honestly. I have no idea. But I know my sister would. She has one kid herself and then like 5 stepkids, so she already has like is running basically a daycare. Okay, so the top comment on this update says, I say this with so much concern for your success. Move closer to family. Along with keeping your child, it will be the best thing you can do for the two of you. Make sure and check out buy nothing groups on Facebook. Also, cruise the free for sale sections on Nextdoor. Wishing you good luck. And he commented back, I think if we end up back here, I will plan to move closer to my family. Not that I plan to make them raise my child. It'll just be better to have that safety net if people live a little closer. But somebody else made a good point about not moving yet. If my ex decides she wants to be involved with the baby, I will have to be prepared to move to where she's at. She lives a few states away. I'm not trying to force that on her, but in the back of my mind, I know there's a possibility that she could change her mind. I will not live states away from my kid, and I'm not out to have full custody or keep her away if she does end up changing her mind. I think best thing for me to do will be to save the money so that I'm prepared if and when I should need to move wherever that might be. And then these are some of the comments back. On top of the buy nothing groups, see if the area you raise kiddo in has just between friends sales. They are a lifesaver for parents on a budget. There are pop-up thrift sales where parents sell all their old kid stuff to the other parents. And if you go on the last day, a lot of the stuff is half off the already thrift store prices. You can get a paternity test now, which you should, so you can have the paperwork ready to go the second the baby is born. Yeah, but only if she'll agree to it. I don't think a court would order a prenatal paternity test. Okay. Let's go back and see. I'm going to actually want to look at how many updates there are. So, okay, y'all, the next post that he posted, 6 months ago. When was 6 months ago? That was like January, right? Yeah. Okay, the title, my daughter was born on New Year's, not me saying New Year's. My daughter was born on New Year's Day and I just found out. My ex-girlfriend gave birth to my daughter on New Year's Day and didn't inform me until today. I'm so pissed off that she would do something like that to me. I had asked her to please let me know when she went into labor so I could do my best to get there ASAP. We broke up before she told me that she was pregnant, and now we live in different states. My previous posts detail a lot of the backstory, but basically she wanted to place the baby for adoption, and I ultimately decided that I wanted to keep the baby. She has maintained that she doesn't want to be a parent and has not been planning to be involved. I have been preparing to be a single parent for the past several months with the understanding that there was a chance that she might change her mind and want to be involved with our daughter. I told her that no matter what, I wanted to be involved with raising my child, and whether she changed her mind or not, I was going to be involved. Even after we broke up, our relationship was good for the first part of her pregnancy. We communicated regularly, and she wanted to involve me in the adoption process and all of that. As soon as I told her that I wasn't going to consent to an adoption, she turned cold, and I get it. I ruined her plans. She has been giving me very brief updates, basically just to let me know everything was fine. We had one big, long conversation, and she seemed to accept my decision, even though she was still upset about it, and made me promise that I'd give our baby all of these things she really wanted her child to have in life. I thought things seemed good or better after that. She even told me where she was at over the holidays in case something happened. She already told me that she didn't want me to be in the delivery room, and I didn't fight that. I was disappointed at the idea that I wouldn't see my daughter being born, but in the grand scheme of things, it was something I could live with. She told me she'd tell me when she went to the hospital so that I could prepare. Today, she sent me a picture and said our daughter was born on New Year's Day. She wasn't due until the end of January, but she is healthy and only spent one extra day in the hospital. The baby went home with my ex-girlfriend and her parents. She said it's only fair that she got a few days with her before I knew, since I'm taking away our daughter forever. I've told her that if she changed her mind, I would rearrange my life, job, home, etc., because I'm not going to live states away from my child. She's trying to act as if I'm the bad guy taking her baby away now. I don't feel prepared yet. I mean, I felt like there was nothing else I could do to prepare, and it was just a waiting game. But now, I feel like I really need the extra few weeks. I wish somebody could just knock me out with a sedative until my flight out there because I'm just buzzing like crazy with all the emotions. My mom was supposed to come with me since I planned to stay there for a few days before traveling back home, but due to the unexpected timing, my sister is coming with me. I just have a bad feeling about how dealing with my ex will be moving forward. I have a lawyer and already have things in motion to protect myself and my daughter, but I had just really hoped that things could be amicable between us. I feel like I've done nothing but try to be nice and understanding every step of the way. Why is this guy like so sweet? He's so sweet. He seems like such a like considerate and caring guy. I don't know him. I've only read like 3 of his posts or 4 of his posts. So, but this is so like cute. I love how he seems so responsible, and it's just very refreshing to see a guy that really wants to like fight to have their daughter, you know? And even if that means like having to be a single dad, which is I can only imagine how hard that would be, especially like not having maternal instincts. I don't know. I just can't even imagine like being the dad and just being a single dad because I just feel like it's so common that the mom just like kind of figures everything out, which will not be a thing in my marriage or relationship. I will not let that happen because I'm not going to be the default parent. I literally refuse. Like, if I'm not 50-50 with my partner when I have a child, I don't. I will actually be a monster because I will be so upset at my partner for not, like, being 50-50 with me. I do not want to be the parent that is always default. Like, no. Okay. The top comments say, congrats, deep breaths, and deal with the issues as they come up. Best advice for every parent at every stage of child's life. Yes, and do not compare yourself to others, especially those on social media, only flaunting the wonderful and darling moments that come with a child and not the hard, underappreciated moments that are more present during their tiny lives. Live your life for you and her. There is no one else now. You got this. From one parent to another, you'll never feel prepared. My guy is too, and I'm still taking it day by day. It's hard. It's stressful. I wish I had a village, but it's only my wife and I. I'll tell you what, though, it is 100% worth it. Cheers. It'll be a hard road, but worth every step. That's cute. Okay. I'm so, like, curious what happens because that was 6 months ago. So the most recent update was 5 days ago. 5 days. So we're getting all the tea. Okay. There is an update to my daughter was born on New Year's Day and I just found out. And that is 5 months ago. So like February probably. I've received many private messages asking me for an update, and I'm sorry that I haven't responded to most of them. I've had a lot going on and my hands full since meeting my newborn daughter last month. I've only been at home with her for a few days, and I'm still getting settled in here. During the second week of January, my sister and I traveled out to where my ex-girlfriend lives, and I met my newborn daughter for the first time. It was awkward, to say the least. With her whole family staring at me silently, shooting daggers at me, I felt like a jerk, but had to remind myself that I'm not taking her daughter away from her mother. She is choosing to not be directly involved. I have told her that I understand if she changes her mind. I've left the door open for her. It's just not a situation you really prepare for. I was so happy to meet my daughter, and all of these people staring at me were so sad. So I sort of hung around there for a little while because it felt wrong to just take the baby and leave. I was waiting for a cue from my ex to indicate she was ready, and eventually she told me to please leave, but that she would want to see her again before I left town. I rented an Airbnb because I planned to be there for a few weeks. Because I wasn't able to be at the hospital within 72 hours of the birth to fill out the appropriate paperwork as originally planned, she and I had to go to the local health department to file a paternity affidavit. She willingly went and signed everything. The baby's last name will now officially be changed to mine, but my ex picked out the first and middle names, and I chose not to argue. As far as custody goes, the paternity affidavit allowed us to agree to share joint legal custody. I had to submit to a court-approved paternity test as part of that. No big deal. She does not actually want joint legal custody. She wants to give me full legal and physical custody, but the form only allows us to establish joint legal custody. She has full physical custody because that's just how the law works here. I was already aware that this would be the case, and my lawyer is working on filing appropriate forms in court to amend everything. We both want me to have physical custody since I will be the primary caregiver. I am opening a court case. I've explained the steps we have to take, and she understands. This is how the process works there, and even though we're in agreement right now, nothing is legally enforceable until there is a court ruling. At this time, she is in agreement and claims that she doesn't plan to fight it. She just wants to get it over with. I told her that she may want to think about it because it feels like she is just trying to rip the Band-Aid off as fast as she can right now. I know sharing legal custody could really backfire on me, but I just want her to feel sure. I got the sense that she wasn't sure, but was just trying to follow through with a complete break. I feel like I'm on thin ice right now. All I have is a signed, notarized letter of a consent to take my daughter out of the state, so I'm anxious to get all of the official legal proceedings done. I don't think I'll be able to relax fully until then. The baby herself, she's perfect. She's so small. Everyone warned me not to get too many newborn-sized clothes because she'd grow out of them so quickly, but the newborn clothes are still a little big. I think her features are becoming more noticeable now, but the only trace of me that I sort of see is her eyes. I look at her and it's like my heart just wants to explode. She's the tiniest, cutest thing I've ever seen in my life, and this is my kid. It still doesn't feel real. I'm still getting used to saying my daughter out loud when I have to call to make appointments. I think she has colic. During the early part of the day, she seems happy and able to nap and doesn't cry a ton, but around dinner time, she starts screaming and will cry nonstop for hours. She spews vomit like you wouldn't believe. The only thing that semi-soothes her is being out in the stroller and rolled back and forth over and over. She was just switched over to a special formula, but I think it's too soon to know if it'll make a difference. I had colic too, apparently. A year ago, I never would have imagined any of this. It almost feels like I'm watching somebody else from the outside. That was so cute and almost made me tear up. Okay, some of the top comments. First off, congrats again. Your daughter is lucky to have a dad like you. Calling your baby my baby is definitely a surreal experience in the beginning. It'll warm your heart forever. You definitely get into the swing of things. I hope that the new formula helps her. I hope that the legal end of things gets tied up soon too. Really wishing the best with your daughter. Thank you. Have you tried soy formula? A lot of babies can't handle the milk and get very colicky from it. I speak from personal experience. The formula she recently switched to is for babies with food sensitivities and colic, supposedly hypoallergenic. I will ask her new doctor about all of this stuff. You are doing great. When my baby was born, he was throwing up a lot. He was not growing or getting nutrition because he couldn't keep the formula down. We had a feeding ultrasound done. They could see that the lower esophageal sphincter would not close properly and was irritated. My son was put on special formula, and all was well after that. It will all be okay. I'm so proud of you. You are an amazing father. One thing I may suggest is always to be honest with your daughter about where she came from. Your ex wanted to give her away completely, and you should not offer to keep the door open for her. I am saying this because it can cause unnecessary strain on the decision she has already made. Giving the baby to a stranger, she'd have no contact or knowledge about the child. However, you threw a wrench in that plan. Now she can get information or pictures or see the child if she wants to, and that can be confusing and detrimental to both your ex's mental health and your daughter's, especially if she just comes around when she feels like it. Trust me on this, I speak from experience. I was given to a stranger when I was a baby, never legally adopted. I was told my mom was going to come back for me one day. She never did. If she did, I didn't know about it. If your ex for some reason decides she wants to contact after so many years, let your daughter decide what she wants. Your ex will have no right to demand to see her. You will be the sole parent. You have to put your daughter's needs first. Having a stable, loving parent is imperative, and you are that parent. I know you are going to be wonderful. Wait, why am I going to cry? Probably because I'm on my period. I'm literally tearing up. Okay. He said, I'm hoping to get sole physical and legal custody soon. This is what she says she wants to agree to and wants to ask the court to grant per our agreement that we are filing. I feel if I'm the only active parent our daughter has, I should have sole custody and all decision-making power. However, I think at this early in the whole thing, now would be a good time to voice if she does not want me to have sole custody and or wants visitation time of any sort. It's her right to request those things if she wants them. This is still her child, and I can't really take that right away from her. After everything is finalized in the courts, she will have to go back to court if she changes her mind later on, and if I don't agree to it, the court will have to determine if it's in the best interest of our child. No, I really hope she doesn't go from having absolutely no involvement to suddenly wanting visitation and parenting time 10 years from now. I don't plan to let my daughter be strung along her whole life, thinking her mom is going to come back into her life. I won't plant those things into her head. I definitely don't want somebody who isn't actually committed to being her parent to come in and out of her life. But if her mom changes her mind a year or two from now and really wants to be involved, I'm sure I'll selfishly not like it, but that could possibly be a positive thing for my kid. Honestly, I hope she just makes a decision and sticks to it. I have not reached out to her at all since coming home out of an effort to be respectful of her decision. I'm not going to send her pictures or anything like that since I think she wants a clean break. She was very emotional the last time she saw the baby. I don't cry easily, and I was almost in tears. It's a very awkward situation for me to navigate. It's still hard for me to believe that she had her with her for a week and she still doesn't want any involvement. I don't know how she can do it. I mean, there's no way I could at this point. So sad. Okay, the comments back to that say, consider changing her name to include something you choose, not just a surname. After your custody is settled to help within the clean break, she deserves a name from the parent who wants her. Yeah. That's so sad. Okay. That was 5 months ago. We have a lot to go too. Well, not a lot, but we have 2 more updates. 3 months ago is the next update that we're about to read. And I'm like, my throat, when you're like wanting to cry and your throat is like closing, and that's literally how I feel right now because I feel like I know this person just from reading these stories. Okay. Oh, God, the title. I now officially have sole custody, but suddenly mom wants to visit. Okay, let's go. I officially have sole legal custody and physical custody of my daughter. It took a while for all of the paperwork to be filed and approved, but everything has been finalized and it's such a relief. Even though her mother was cooperative, I was constantly worried she'd suddenly change her mind, or her family would convince her to change her mind, since I believe they have a strong influence over her, and accuse me of taking off with our kid. I've posted in a few groups over the course of all of this, but to sum it up, my ex-girlfriend and I had an unplanned baby. She didn't tell me she was pregnant until after we broke up, and I had moved to a different state. She wanted to place the baby for adoption, but I decided that I couldn't do that. I'm currently parenting my daughter on my own. She still has legal parental rights, but is not involved in any way. My daughter is almost 13 weeks old. I think I was meant to be a parent, and for some reason, the universe deemed it to happen now instead of when I always thought that it happened later in life. I still have no clue what I'm doing most of the time, but I'm happy and I love my daughter so much. I think we've both come a long way in the past 3 months. I had to go back to work earlier this month. Unfortunately, I'm still in the wait list for a few daycares that are going to be the best options for me cost-wise and location-wise. The only one that had an opening for her age was out of the way as far as my workplace goes and was at the very top of the budget. Let's be real. Daycare in general is nearly out of my budget, but I'm going to make it work. My workplace is letting me work from home a few days a week as I transition back to work. They all know the situation and have been very accommodating. On the days I go into the office, my grandma is watching her for now. I admit I actually really felt really depressed when I had to go back to work. As much as I was looking forward to the adult interaction again, I was sad. I might have actually cried once. I hadn't heard from her mother since I brought my daughter home for the first time. I did have to reach out to her a few times regarding the status of some paperwork that we filed, but I did not mention the baby, send unsolicited photos, etc. I know she said she doesn't want to be a mom, but I guess I found it weird that she never even asked about her once. Now she's reached out. I'm assuming that the custody stuff may have played a part. I don't really know. She asked if I could send her some more pictures, and I did. Then she asked, what if I want to see her in person? Well, okay, but I told her she'll have to come here. I don't have any PTO, and I don't think it makes sense for me to have to travel states away with the baby for her to see her. She said she doesn't know when she'll have the money and time to do that. I told her I don't know what to tell her then. It seemed like she either wanted me to go to her or for me to pay for it. I can't do either of those things. How do I still feel bad for her for some reason? Okay, this top comment says, you're doing everything correct. It sounds like she chose to give up a parenting role in the child's life, and you facilitated her request while also being a parent. If she now wants to be a parent, literally all of the effort has to be on her. She must make the trips, pay any potential support, accrue supplies for a newborn child, etc. She has to show effort and commitment. You keep living your life, and when she asks to see the child, do not overly burden yourself to accommodate her. Also, in a legal sense, you should not leave the child alone with her. It sets a precedent for her gaining some custody in the future. Make sure you are always present during any time she is with the child, but do give her things like pictures or videos when she asks. If she wants her own parenting time without you present, you need to make her go to court for it. It sounds harsh, and it is harsh, but it's just the reality of what is best for the child. You cannot give her any slack because that's how rubber band parents are creative, and having a parent who constantly enters and leaves your life is more harmful than not having that parent at all. Yeah, for sure. That's I don't even know what to think because I can't, like, I don't know. I just feel like I can't even say an opinion on a situation like this since I don't even know, like, what it feels like. But I feel like, I don't know, it's so hard because she obviously, like, can easily contact him. Whereas if she did put the baby up for adoption, like, there would really be no choice. And she would have just signed her, like, rights away to a family that she felt comfortable with. And then that's that. And, like, no more contact from there. It's a clean break. But now that she knows, like, her boyfriend has it and he's keeping the door open for her to come see the baby, I feel like maybe I would just set some boundaries with her and see, like, what happens after the visit. Like, if she does end up visiting, and what happens. Like, is she going to want, is she going to be like, okay, now don't send me any pictures, and, like, we're, like, just going back to wanting to not be a parent anymore? Or is she going to want to consistently be in her life? Because the only thing I think is, like, it's just exactly what everybody else is saying. Like, I would hate for the mom to just feel like she can come in and out of her life whenever she wants, instead of having to commit to being consistent, whether that's every 2 months, once every 2 months she comes and visits her child, or whatever it may be. I just think it's, like, very important to set, like, some type of boundary, unless obviously she, after she comes to visit, she is, like, already wants to be more involved. But I don't know, I just would hate for that to happen. And, like, she just has this parent now that is coming in and out. And okay, this is the last update that he posted, and it's 5 days ago. Update number question mark. My ex-girlfriend wants to place our baby for adoption. I've posted several times, but it's been a while. I don't have much time to post or respond to the messages I receive here anymore, but I'm on vacation this week, my daughter's first trip to the beach, and I have some free time. Honestly, I guess I'm feeling really good and just a little bit petty, and wanted to share an update as a response to everyone who said I wouldn't be able to handle it, or that I'd be begging/forcing my child's mother to be involved. I don't expect anyone reading this to remember anything about my story. We're just going to skip this part because we've already read it like 10 times. I've been raising her as a single child. I have a very supportive family, so I have help in that way for sure, but nobody is raising my daughter for me. Okay. My daughter will be 6 months on July 1st. She's doing really well for the most part. She's been diagnosed with Sandifer syndrome, which is something most people, include myself, have never even heard of. She has uncontrollable muscle spasms after eating due to acid reflux, which her originally pediatrician brushed off and made me feel like I was just worrying too much or overreacting to her colic and severe projectile vomiting after meals. Luckily, this isn't a life-threatening illness or something that should affect her for the rest of her life. It should clear up by the time she's 1 to 1.5 years old, if not sooner. She's already doing better with some diet changes and some other things on my part as far as feeding positions, frequency of feeding, etc. She's doing so well now that the doctor is holding off on putting her on medication and thinks that she probably won't need it. She developed a secondary condition called torticollis, which is essentially short right neck muscles that cause her head to turn to side. So she's going to weekly physical therapy for that, and thankfully, it's something that can be resolved and isn't a lifelong condition or anything like that. I feel bad even though I've been told repeatedly that none of this was caused by anything I did. Rationally, I know that, but I'm finding that a lot of feelings you have as a parent aren't always rational. She goes to daycare now, just started a few weeks ago. Prior to that, my grandma was watching her during the day, so I was really lucky to have that help. I'm still learning to be comfortable with dropping her off at daycare. Before she was born, I thought daycare, no big deal. It's hard to trust total strangers with your kid who can't at least tell you what's happening all day. Not to mention the cost, but having my grandma watch her for the first few months allowed me to save up every tiny bit. I've paid off credit cards and have vowed to not use them again, so I have that credit in reserve should I ever have any big emergency. I'm definitely budgeting. My sister is into couponing and sales and knows how to get all the deals to help her, so her help has been invaluable to me financially. My daughter's mom isn't directly involved at all. I don't resent her, and I haven't tried to force her to be involved or even asked her to do anything. She contacted me a few months ago and wanted to come here to visit our daughter. We live states apart now. Around the time I started occasionally sharing pictures with her, we don't really talk about how she feels or how she is handling any of it. Sometimes I'm curious about how she feels, but really it's none of my business. She went back to school and is focusing on that for now. She never came to visit. She wanted me to pay for it, and I told her no. It wasn't even totally a matter of not wanting to, but I don't have the money for that. She sent me a really nice long text on Father's Day. We don't talk unless it is to give her a little update when she asks. I guess I feel kind of mixed about sharing the updates and photos, but I'm trying not to be an asshole about it. I guess that's all I really have to share. Pretty boring, but maybe that's a good thing. I received several Father's Day messages from people here and didn't think anyone would even remember me months later, so thanks to everyone who has been following me this journey and been kind and supportive. That is so sweet. I feel like he's probably like such a good dad. And sorry, I have to text the guy that I walked his dog because I forgot to text him. Yes, all good. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, he just sounds like such a good dad. Like he's just, I don't know. He's making it seem like it's easy, which obviously I know it's not, but it's really sweet. And he's just being so, he's such a good dad. I wish I could see pictures of his baby. I wish I could see pictures. I obviously know that like he's not gonna post pictures of his baby and stuff, but I wish I could see pictures and know the name of the baby. Like it's so cute. I'm so happy for him. It's so nice to be validated and like knowing that he made the right decision. Like obviously he was so scared and like shook and didn't know how it was gonna go being a single dad, but 6 months in and it seems like he's living an amazing life with his daughter, and I love that because I can't even imagine. He's 23 years old, which really isn't that young, but I'm 26 years old and I could not have a child right now. Like I do not want a child right now, and that is just crazy. I mean, obviously if I had a child right now, like I would be taking care of it, but I just don't. That is just crazy to me, and I honestly totally understand where the woman is coming from with not wanting to be a parent at 21 years old. I was just graduating college at 21 years old. I literally didn't even know who I was. Like when I think back to me at that age, I'm like, damn, girl. And I knew that I didn't know who I was. I would always be like, who am I? Like, literally, what do I like? Am I a nice person? Am I like a bad person? Am I a good person? Am I a bitch? Like, I don't know. I did not know myself. And I'm still figuring it out. I'm 26 years old. So I'm not like, I don't know everything. And I'm not like 100% confident in who I am, but I definitely know a lot more than I did 5 years ago. Like, I know that I'm genuinely a good person, even if I can be a bitch sometimes, because can't everyone, right? Like, I don't know. I don't think my mom can, actually. My mom's like the nicest person in the world. It's honestly kind of scary. Like, but when I get like annoyed at people, like, say, I'm trying to think of an example. When someone's being, like, for example, actually, well, one thing is that when like people are mean to my boyfriend in front of me, I'm like, do you want to fight? Like, because he's so nice and he would never hurt a fly. So I'm like, do you literally want to fight me? But that's not the point. The point was that we were at Target the other day, and I was looking around for this Zam book. This book, the third housemaid is watching. This is like the third book to a sequel, or what is it called? A trilogy. And I was looking for that book at Target, and online it said there was 4 left in stock. And every time we go to Target a lot because we literally live across the street from Target. They always say they have stuff in stock, but we can never find it. So we'll ask our staff to please go look in the back. And usually they're really good about it up until a few weeks ago. My boyfriend was looking for this pair of shorts and it said there was like 5 left in stock. So he asked someone if she could go look in the back, and she was like, well, it doesn't say there's any back there. And he's like, trust me, there is, because, and it was 2 different things. It was a pair of trunks and a pair of sweat shorts. And she was like, well, I just looked and it tells them if stuff is in the back. And he's like, trust me, like, I've asked so many times other people, and every single time I ask a staff to go look in the back, they always end up finding it. So she was like, sorry, I can't. It doesn't say there is anything, so I don't think there's going to be anything. And then he keeps looking for the shorts. Another like 20 minutes goes by, and then he goes back to that girl and he's like, can you please just look in the back? It just so happens that she does go in the back, and she finds both pairs of shorts in his size. And so I was looking for that book, and I was looking for so long, and then I asked someone if they could help me. And then they helped me. They couldn't find it. They told me to look in the front. I looked in the front, couldn't find it. Still says there's 4 left in stock. So I'm like, maybe it just hasn't been updated or something. I don't know. But then I wanted to check the back before we left. So I asked one of the other girls that worked in the back by the like electronics, and I asked her, and she was so rude. And I feel like Target staff is usually really nice and friendly. But this girl was like, so mean. She was like, well, if it's not, it doesn't say it's in the back, and we literally just cleaned everything in the back, and this girl just took like 2 hours putting everything out, and blah 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 blah. And she was like yelling at me, and I was like, okay, girl, you want to give me that energy? I'm gonna give that right back to you, girl. So, and I was not being like, I'm not like a huge bitch where I'm like, I can't say that word on here. See you next Tuesday, like, I'm not like crazy. I'm just like kind of like a little bit passive aggressive, and I'm like, okay, then like, where would it be if it says it's inside? Like, I'm just kind of like sassy, I guess you could say, because don't treat me like that. Like, she treated us so terribly, and I'm like, can you not be like the most rude person in the world right now? I literally came to you asking you so nicely if you could look in the back, and then you're like, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, and then that's when my dark side comes out. Okay? So that's like an example of when I will be a bitch. Sorry. You cannot be a bitch to me and then not expect me to be a bitch back. But then sometimes it's like, I want to be super nice, and I want to be like, okay. But I just can't. Because, like, when I get upset, my blood in my heart, it like I feel it turning hot, you know? I feel it boiling. Oh, let's see where my boyfriend is actually. I can't believe we just read one story, but like it was all updates. So, I guess that's really all. I mean, we're an hour in, so it's like how much longer can I really go? I mean, I can give you guys longer episodes, but like my boyfriend's gonna be home, so then it's like, oh, I have to kind of sign off, you know? But that was like 7 stories in one. And I'm really glad that I really liked those updates actually. The other guys that I was like not really vibing with, I just didn't like his updates because they were always like the same thing and they were bothering me. But you guys really liked those. So I hope you guys liked this episode because that was like a lot of updates and it went from like 9 months to 5 days ago, which I love because then we got to see like how the story ended. It was like reading a book, like front to back, you know? But I do highly recommend the Housemaid books. They are so good. If you like thriller, so good. I haven't really gotten to the third one yet. Like I've only read 30 pages, maybe 40. So I haven't really gotten into it yet, but I know I will because I'm obsessed with Frida McFadden. I'm literally going to read all of her books. They're so good. Let me know if you've read any of Frida McFadden's books. And if you like to read, you really should buy The Housemaid. That's the first book. And then the second book is The Housemaid's Secret. And then this is the third book. They are so good. We should start a book club. That would be fun. Because I feel like if you guys like story times, then you probably like books. And you can also listen to the audiobook. But I don't know. I'm like literally ranting right now. Anyways, I love you guys so much and thank you for watching. Sorry that we only got to read one story today, but at least there was a lot of updates so that you guys could get all the tea in one episode. I'm really invested in that man's life now. Like I teared up at that story and I felt like crying. So I feel like I know him now. But yeah, comment and let me know how you liked this episode or whatever your thoughts are about the whole story in general. I love you guys so much. Subscribe, like the video, maybe turn on your notifications. I don't know. Maybe don't if I'm annoying, but I love you guys and